All right, Colossians 3:9. We are just keeping going. We were in verse 7 and 8 in the last one, and we were talking about putting away all the anger, the wrath, the malice, the slander, the obscene talk. And now we're not to lie to one another, because once you've done those things, you mess up. So it says, do not lie to one another, seeing that you have put off the old self with its practices. So here we have another command. Oh, let me get the color code out. Let you see that. All right, now, so do not lie to one another. Do not lie to one another. So that's the command, but I'll underline that in brown, because lying to one another is sin. It's wicked. Then he says, seeing that you have put off the old self, which he's making an assumption there. It's tantamount to a command, but I'm going to underline it red because the assumption, and it's more of an example to us that we have put off the old self with its practices. All right, and the old self is the sinful self. It's the natural self. It's the first nature that we have. It's old self should be crucified, as it talks about in the Ephesians chapter 4. You got Ephesians chapter 4. He starts talking about it really at verse 17, where you should no longer live like the Gentiles do. Then it goes all the way through 24, as we'll see in verse 10, where you're putting on the new self. But for now, handwriting. Put off the old self with its practices. And that term practice, it's something you repeat again and again. This is an important concept, because when we're looking at being heavenly, and then we're putting to death the earthly things, putting them away, not doing it anymore, it's not something that we're going to do perfectly. It's a practice. And sin, you don't have to practice it to sin, but to be an expert in sin, we practice it. We become sophisticated in our sin. We know how to hide it better. We know how to disguise it and justify it. We get really good at sin. Well, the same goes for righteousness and heavenly mindedness. The more we practice it, and the more committed we are to it, the better we get. So he's saying, put off the old self with its practices. Don't make it a way of life. Don't make it the habit. Don't allow it to continue to be the habit. You need to break those habits. And that's not easy. Habits are hard to break. But this is an important concept that you again will see in Ephesians chapter 4, that practice is so important, that we put away the practices, the repetition of sinfulness, and put on the practice or the repetition of righteousness, so that one becomes unfamiliar and we're unskilled at it, and the other, the righteous, we become familiar with it and skilled at it. So the longer we walk with the Lord, the more we're putting to death the things of this earth in ourselves. We're putting away all these things. We're practicing righteousness. We're putting off the old man. Then you're going to start seeing you don't do it as quickly. You don't react as long. You don't hold on to it as long. You actually are not practiced in it, and you start to lose the sophistication of sin. It doesn't mean you're not sinning, but you're not as sophisticated. You're not as good at it. You're not good at hiding it. You're not good at blame shifting. You're not good at all this wickedness. You're actually becoming less and less familiar with it, because you don't do it repeatedly. You'll still fall into it. You'll still slip up here and there, and you'll make poor choices, but you don't practice it. And that's what he's talking about, is you put off the old self by not practicing it, but rather than in verse 10, and I think I need to do a different video for that, but you start to practice something new, the heavenly mindset. So again, real quick scan through these passages, but hopefully this is helping. Hopefully this is a blessing, and we'll just keep going.